Welcome to Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce. This is your go-to source for practical advice and support for when the divorce process has finished. Join us each weekday for a quick chat where we'll cover a variety of topics related to post-divorce. Together, we'll explore the emotional, financial, and legal aspects of life after divorce and help you find the best path forward for you and your family. Here's your host and Certified Divorce Financial Analyst professional, Mike Fulkerson.
Hi, and welcome back to day 3 of the Breaking Ties interview series, where we're talking with professionals this week who assist those in getting through the divorce process. This week's a little different, where we're looking post-divorce. We're looking at moving on and reestablishing ourselves on the dating scene. I'm your host, Mike Fulkerson, financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst professional. And with me today is Patti Warsaski. And Patti is a dating coach and the owner of A Game Dating Coaching for Men and Women. And I tell you, we've been getting great information all week from Patti. So if you are just joining us today for the first time, you got to go back and check out the first 2 episodes, because we had some great information being passed along by Patti that I think you'll really enjoy. Welcome to day 3, Patti. How are we feeling?
Great. Feeling really great. It's a wonderful series you're doing.
Yeah, well, it's only beautiful because of the information you're sharing with our listeners.
I appreciate that.
I tell you, it is really good stuff and really helps out a lot of people. And, you know, as we progress through the whole dating scene here, I think a lot of people, because we got this swipe society and you're just meeting somebody somewhere, I think it's kind of interesting to chat a little bit today about what are some fun and safe date ideas when you actually are going out on a date.
I think a lot of that seed is planted with how long you talk to and how involved of a conversation you have with who you're going out with. I'm a big advocate and proponent of safety, always, not only for women, for men too. So I think where your comfort zone takes you is where you should go. If your comfort zone takes you to meeting up just at a coffee place and driving your own vehicle and having the ability to leave and paying for your own beverage, that's where you should go. If you feel you've spoken to this person enough, the other person, and you've had enough of an interaction, or maybe had the opportunity to have some Zoom or video calls, and you feel more comfortable, or if it's someone that you may know a little better, you might want to delve into something a little bit more personal, like going into a dinner situation where you're going to be with somebody for a couple of hours. But I would say, as far as just ideas, I think if the weather allows, I think a walk is a wonderful thing for a first date. I think it just gives you the opportunity to just kind of be free and easy. Everybody's kind of relaxed on a walk. I think a group activity is great for safety. Yesterday I mentioned meetup.com. They do a lot of activities. If you suggest going to an activity together, a lot of times there's live music, which is wonderful for a date. You can do something where you're among other people and you feel safe and you feel comfortable and there's something to talk about. That's the other thing, is try and do something where there's something to talk about. Whether it be you go to a movie and you go to have coffee or something after, you've got something to talk about. Or go to a common place that you both like, maybe a museum, something to talk about, something to keep the conversation going. It's not to say that you would be non-compatible if getting a conversation going is a little bit more difficult. Sometimes people just need time to come out of their shells. If you're really kind of just out of the gate of a divorce, nervous. People are nervous. So you might need that time. If you are fall into the chatty patty category and you have no problem talking to anybody and you can do just about anything, but your safety still should be in there, because if you don't feel safe, you're not going to feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, you won't let yourself relax enough to enjoy and interact. And then what could have been an otherwise nice date turns into just a person just kind of getting in their own head. So I think group activities, just to recap, group activities are wonderful. Anything outdoors is great. If you're not an outdoors person, do something that's indoors, but maybe on a smaller scale. Don't commit to too many hours right up front.
Right. Yeah, those are fantastic. And yeah, safety is always a number one concern, in today's dating scene. Along some of those similar lines, what are some red flags to watch out for, when you're dating, whether it's through conversation or just through chatting or something like that,
I
kind of
think
thing. What are your thoughts?
I'm sorry, one of the biggest things, red flag that I let people know about is when someone is just so adamant and just, let's get together now. Why don't we meet today? Why don't we, that's a red flag to me. Again, also being an instant gratification person, yeah, that all sounds great. Like, oh, it'd be cool. But proceed with caution. I mean, if you're a parent, think about what you would tell your children in this same situation. Would you tell them, oh, no, just meet somebody on the internet and then, get out there a few hours later and meet up with them somewhere, or go to their house or something? No, we would never give this advice to our children. So we should keep these kind of things also in mind for ourselves, for safety. So that's a red flag to me. If someone is too eager, not that necessarily bodily harm will come to you, but my question then becomes is, why are you so eager? Why is the other person so eager? Is it because they're just not somebody that's on the same page with you and they're just kind of looking for like a quick interaction and move it on? Or is it someone that just doesn't have enough respect for you to get to know you as a person, to want to know more about you before they make a decision to get together? I just think that it's not a really thought through process when someone is too eager to get together with you. I feel like there's an ulterior motive, and there are scammers out there. We know it. I hope no one listening to this has fallen victim to that. But there are people that they may think about something about you or perceive something about you that they think is advantageous for them to meet you right away. And I also think another red flag is when someone wants to know a lot about things that are irrelevant. What kind of car do you drive? Well, where do you live? Do you live in a big house? Do you, what do you do for a living? Obviously, you want to share things on a minimal scale like that. What do you do for a living? I'm in sales. If you want to share more than that, if you want to give more information than that, or I'm an attorney or whatever it is, just proceed with caution on those things, at least in those first few interactions, because it's red flags when people want to know too much about you too soon. That don't have to do with who you are and your personality. They have more to do with like the material things in your life. So if someone starts talking to you about, when you were growing up, did you remember ever going to this place or doing that? Or something along those lines, then yeah, now they want to know about you. If they're asking you, what kind of car you drive, they don't want to know about you. That's irrelevant to who you are. They start asking you if you remembered watching a show when you were a kid, or, something about your upbringing or something. That's you. Just try and understand the difference between someone wanting to know about your life and your possessions and someone wanting to know about you personally and the way you think and the way you tick.
Yeah, no, that's a great distinction right there. I mean, I never really thought about it that way as far as, who you know versus materialistic things. So I think that's a really good thing to work out. Now, we get to the date, let's say first date, kind of thing, or even just any date. Some do's and don'ts to talk about when you're out on a date.
Well, my first don't, I'm going to start with that. So I think anybody who's ever been coached by me or attends my Zoom sessions knows that I am very, very, I stand very strongly on the position is when you're going on your first date, don't bring your exes along. And I mean that figuratively, not literally. One of the things that people have a tendency to do is bring up their exes, ex-spouses, ex-relationships. And I get that it's a common ground and you can commiserate and, oh, my ex did this too and my ex did that. But you're not building a foundation for the two of you to establish your own relationship. What you're doing is you're bonding over your bad ex experiences. So I just remind people it's not a double date. When you go out, there should only be two people on the date. And so if you start talking about the ex, at the end of the night, what does the other person now know about you? They know about a bad relationship history, and they know about your ex. So if I were to say to them, well, what did you learn about her on the date? well, she had a terrible ex-husband and he did this and he did that. Not enough to go by to know if you want to have a second date. So I'm very, very big on that. Not saying it's not okay to bring up, oh, I was married for this many years and we got divorced because of this, if you want to share that information. But just kind of limit it so it doesn't become a back and forth bashing of the exes. And then the evening is over. And how do you really know if you want to see that person again? How do you know anything about them? Because now all you've done is had a therapy session. So big one there. Just remember, those things come out in time. If you guys get along great on the first date, those things are going to come out in time. Of course, you're going to share things like that. But let the first date really be about the two of you.
Nice.
As far as any do's, I would say a big do is walk out your door to go to that date with absolutely the best expectations. Do not go with the worst expectations. Like, oh, I really didn't want to go to this. I'm too tired. I don't know if I really like this person enough. I don't like that restaurant. Just going into it with that, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy there. You're going to just have not a good attitude, and it's going to be picked up on. Go in there and say, hey, I'm bringing the best I've got. Let me see if the other person's bringing the best they've got. And somewhere in there, we might have a really fun night together or a fun date, whatever you're doing together. But don't get inside your own head. Do give yourself the confidence. Compliment yourself as you're looking at yourself in the mirror, getting ready to walk out the door. Compliment yourself on knowing that you are really excited and it shows. Just build yourself up because you deserve that whether you're going on a date or not. Always be comfortable in your own skin. So do try to remind yourself that this other person saw something in you and they liked it enough to create this dating situation with you. So play off of that. Say, hey, this person found me funny or attractive or interesting, because you are. So take that with you.
Yeah, no, those are two really good ones right there on the do and the don't, and going out on the date and stuff. So, man, I think that was really great stuff.
I get excited. Like I get passionate about the don'ts and the do's. So.
Right, that's it. So, hey, this actually does conclude our third day. We've made it halfway, Patti. Woohoo! So I want to let our listeners know that we're going to be back tomorrow with another episode, and that episode is going to have new questions and new thoughts and new ideas as we continue our discussion on dating and divorce. Patti and I would like to take a second to thank you for joining us today on the Breaking Ties interview series. And if you have any questions for Patti, I'm going to have her information over in the description, ways to contact her via phone, via email, and you can chat with her directly and ask questions of her. Divorce is not the end of your story. As Patti and I know, it is the start of your next great chapter. And with that, take care, and we will see you tomorrow.
We want to thank you for listening to this episode of Breaking Ties, a new you after divorce with Mike Fulkerson. For questions, please reach out to Mike via email in the description or give him a shout at 630-444-1410. Remember to subscribe, like, and follow.